Hello and welcome to Flossmiss. I am Karen and I'm the Stitching Owl.
And I am Karen, the Twitchy Stitcher.
And together we are Y2K, your two Karens. And we thought we'd get together to do a Flossmiss where today you get us both at the same time.
Yay!
I know this is fun for us because even though we live in the same city, it's actually just as far to drive to Karen as it is for me to drive to another city to see my mother. It's just we're on opposite sides of town. But so we don't see each other often. So this is a real privilege for us. So what we are doing is we have embraced Merry Stitchmas by Emma Congdon. And we are using this particular pattern book as the jumping off point for our December stitching, because we're both going to just dive headfirst into lots of Christmas stitching in December. It's not that we won't do anything else, because you know we have enough projects.
It's just a focus.
But it is a focus, and it's kind of fun to do these things. So one of the things that I do with my Flossmas is I tend to start off with a moment of gratitude, so to say. I did this each of the days last year, and I thought today I would have an unusual moment of gratitude. I am grateful for Canada Post screwing up.
Oh, really?
I know.
Okay, I got to hear this.
So, because Canada Post doesn't always deliver things when you expect them to, or even just a few days or weeks late, it caused me to actually go to Karen's house and meet her in person when she didn't get her first Canada Swaps one. And since that day, we've become fast friends, and there's very few days that we don't text. I mean, often we're stitching together. Those days we don't always text, but when I go on my phone and I go, oh, we didn't text yesterday, I'm actually quite surprised. So yes, I am very grateful for Canada Post bringing us together, because it's been, it's fun to have somebody, even though we don't see each other in person, we do stitch together often, sometimes in a group and sometimes just you and me.
Yes.
And so we've become pretty close friends.
Yes, it's been a really, really, really good year.
It has been, because really when you get down to it, that was October 2024,
right?
When you were like, well, it's been 6 weeks, and I'm like, oh, I'll come over, and Jeff found your place for the first time. At some point we'll be able to do it, but right now we GPS it every time because we have. It's like
I live in a subdivision behind another subdivision, so.
Yeah, you're jumping around like on a snakes and ladders board where you're trying to follow this and that to find. And Jeff almost stopped at the wrong house today. Wasn't it that one? No, we have one more turn. Oh, okay. So I don't know whether you want to do a moment of gratitude or not. That's just something that I tend to do.
Well, I think I am very grateful for the internet, because the Zooms I have been on this year have changed my world. Stitching with friends around the world has just opened my eyes to a whole world of creativity. And I think that it has just, it went from being a single stitcher alone all the time to someone with a multitude of friends I could reach out with, to stitch with, to talk with, to share things with. And it has really changed my retirement totally.
Yeah, we are not alone now.
Not anymore.
Like, I mean, in the middle of the night, I'm usually stitching alone, but I have to admit that I tend to go back and forth with my friend Jody. Her husband works the night shift, and so she's often awake in the middle of the night, and so we can have, one night it was like a 2-hour conversation in the middle of the night, and it's like, we're not hurting anybody, we're just chattering back and forth.
Nice.
So like, yeah, it is. And what I particularly like about the different groups that are forming is the wide range of ages and interests. It really is all inclusive, and I think that that is something that the stitching community does really well.
Yes.
It's
I've become great friends with a couple of stitchers who are so new to it, they haven't even been doing it for a year. And we've become fast friends over it. And it's just been fabulous, just pointing things out that I've learned over 50 years that they don't know about. And it's been fun, you know, sharing these ideas and thoughts and how things you learn as you grow as a stitcher.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's very true. And sometimes in not knowing, they fall across doing something in a different way that's kind of cool.
Yes.
And we're like, oh, I never thought of doing it that way, but you know, it works.
Yeah.
So like we learn from each other constantly. And I think that that's one of the things that I encourage my private students over the years is just to embrace the idea of being a lifelong learner.
Right.
And then you will find the path to happiness easier than through stagnation.
That's true.
And interestingly enough, I do feel that stitching does help us to continue to want to learn. Even if people have to learn to love full coverage. Seriously, I remember a day that Karen said, I don't think full coverage is for me.
Nope.
And guess what she just bought for 2026?
Yes, I'll be doing my first paint-free craft full coverage.
So it's not like the Doreen Jones that we talked her into doing that is like an 8x10. It's a big one. So she's got a BAP, and she'll actually be able to sort of parallel me with some of what I'm doing, and it'll be fun. Your BAP actually might have more stitches than mine because of me taking out the background.
Oh, maybe. Mine's 150,000 stitches.
So I think mine is almost 150, but then because I'm taking out the background, I bet that that's 20,000 that I take out.
And I love mine so much I can't take out the background, so I'm stuck with it.
No.
Because it's got a fabulous background.
Well, my By the Shore, I didn't take anything out.
That's
I
true.
stitched all the way. I wasn't even a matter of let's take out a tree. It was, I must admit, that last 2 weeks was all green.
I know. I heard a couple little tiny complaints about I'm stitching green again.
Green again. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I think each of us have our favorite colors, and I didn't have any problem stitching the blue water all over and over, but it's not that I dislike green, but it was a lot of green. And I think about Katie and Yidristel, and I have said to her, you realize how much green you're going to have to do? Oh, I know, it's fine. And then she's doing 1/1 full cross on 32.
Yes.
Like, really? Wow, Katie. But anyway, shall we dive in? Why don't you talk about what you're doing with your overall project for December that is the Emma Congdon?
Okay, well, I decided to do an advent calendar. It's called It's Beginning. And I decided that the only way I could do it was by doing the frame ahead of time. Because of the amount of stitches for each section, that was going to be over 500 stitches a day without the background. So I thought it would be best if I just did the graph ahead of time.
So I'm just going to, before you hold that up, I'm just going to say, this is what Karen is talking about. So you can see on here that they have chosen some sort of white or slightly off-white basic fabric. And then they have actually changed the background color of each square of this advent calendar. And that's what Karen is saying, that she's like, I'm saving a few stitches. So now you can show what you're...
So this is what I did. So I have all the numbers for the days in and all the squares outlined so that I can do just each daily ornament as it comes up.
And in case some of you guys have eagle eyes, there might be one or two that don't have a number in it, but that's because the number is sort of ensconced in the actual pattern, and
Yes.
you were going to wait to do it while you were doing that pattern. So you have the grid done for December 1, and now you're going to try and stitch one of those every single day of December.
Yes, and I did change a couple colors. I changed the red.
Okay, so I'm just going to hold this up again. If you look at this, you're going to find that orange is one of the kind of dominant colors, and that the red is undertones of orange versus the Christmas red that we are relatively familiar with. So what did you end up choosing?
I chose 777, which is a really rich burgundy jewel tone. And I like that color. So the only other two colors I changed, I just moved them up a tone. So that between the two colors, there would be a greater change of color.
So you increased the depth of value.
Yes.
Okay.
And on two. And that was it. That's the only changes I made, other than adding the blue that I did for the outside of all the squares.
Right, right. Because they actually didn't have a grid on theirs, did
No.
they? Because they were just changing, doing the block background. So
And once I put it in Pattern Keeper, you can fill in the empty blocks with stitches if you want to. So I just filled all the empty stitches in with the blue.
oh, there you go. So how did you get this into Pattern Keeper?
I scanned it as a JPEG
Okay.
and put it in as a camera option.
And it just went in?
Well, you have to adjust the grid a little bit.
Okay,
But-
clearly I need to play around with this more because I have not
I
had a
put
lot
in
of
the
luck with
top,
this.
the top two pages I put in as one pattern, and the bottom two pages I put in as a second pattern. So mine's in two pieces.
So just while Karen is talking about this, recently I was watching a video of Pam, who is the Ditsy Daisy Crafter. Hi, Pam. And she was doing a Doreen Jones piece that is out of a book that has to do with, I think it was the travel book. And it was a multi-page pattern, and she was finding herself quite frustrated because she thought, like, the grids aren't matching up from one page to the next, and there's no overlap. So how do you know where you're supposed to be when the grids don't match up? So Karen actually said to me, oh, it's not just that one. Do you want to continue with this conversation?
Well, it's just even in this advent calendar, the top two pages of grids are a different grid setup than the bottom two pages, which is why I separated it and put it into two patterns.
So you used one grid for the first pattern and this other grid for the other pattern.
Yes, so the top two pages are the same grid horizontally, but the bottom two grids are a different horizontal grid.
So what do you use to grid your fabric?
Mine?
Yes, when you put on your gridding, is that like a friction pen or something?
Yes. Yeah.
Ah, okay, so
Yeah.
you just iron it off after.
Yes.
Got it. Got it.
I don't use a water soluble because this is a hand dyed fabric.
Indeed.
So
Yes.
on a plain white, I use water soluble pens.
Got it. So the reason I just wanted to bring that up is that I know that Pam was clearly frustrated and worried that she was making errors, and she wanted to do more patterns out of the Doreen Jones book, but was afraid they would all have this issue. And I think what I'm going to say is they probably all do. From chatting with you, it just seems to be
A common occurrence.
yeah, it's just there, and this is where what I do, where I don't tend to put stuff. I don't stitch even out of this book. Even though I'm doing ornaments for mine, I'm not doing them out of here. I put them into PC Stitch, and in that way I create the gridding myself and
Right.
and match up all of the different parts of a chart so that when it goes into Pattern Keeper, it all matches.
Right.
So if Pam and I are doing the same thing, I can help her with that. But that's how I get around it. But clearly you figured out a way to get around it. So because you're going to be doing one a day, so what we're doing is today we're together, and then Karen Twitchy is going to be doing the even numbered days in December up to including the 24th, and I'm going to be doing the odd numbered days including the 25th. And in that way you have Flossmas every day from a Y2K, but it's only today that we're going to be together. We'll then be doing individual videos, and your goal is to actually complete that advent calendar this month, isn't it?
Yes, it will. I forget, we're talking about December, sorry. Yes, it will be, the last stitch will be on, I will do it early on the 24th and then do my video, and you'll see the end of the advent calendar on the 24th.
Excellent. And what I'm doing is, this particular book has many, many ornaments in it. And what I'm going to say is ornament options, because there's things, for instance, like, so if I show you this page, clearly these are ornaments. But I can also show you another page where clearly their idea was not that these would be ornaments. Like, this is a postage stamp, but each of those postage stamps can be an ornament in my opinion. So
Pretty ones too.
yeah, yes, I've already started on this one. So it's one of those things that I'll be doing this in a different way, but that's part of what's fun about stitching, is that each of us can be so supportive of each other, even if we're stitching things in a different way, or stitching different patterns, because like Karen does marvelous things with fancy ladies, and that doesn't tend to be what I'm spending my time doing. I do, for every fancy lady stitch she has, I've got a stitch in a bird. True?
Yes.
Yeah, birds and animals are me. So where I started with this one, whoops, I don't want to show you the pattern. This particular page, you can see that they have some ornaments that are really cool shaped, and they actually put tassels on the bottom. And I have forgotten to tassel mine. I do have a tassel maker, and I forgot to make it. So unlike Twitchy Karen, Karen Owl freely changed the colors. And like the blues are blues and the reds are reds, but the value is completely different. And I tend to do ornaments on 32 count, even weave. And as such, I don't like to use 2 strands of DMC on 32, but 1 strand is just way too pale. So this is an example. This is not Aurifil, Wonderfil. So this is a 12 weight, the same as Sulky, and it's round like Sulky, so you can mix Wonderfil and Sulky together really easily. It just happens that Stitches Central got in a whole pile of really cool colors. So you know, being that I'm there almost every weekend, I picked up a bunch of these. And as such, that is what I am using. And this is how my first ornament came out. So I stitched it and actually fully finished it. Now, the interesting thing is you can't really see the beads as well as I had hoped you would. They are there. And here I used Diamante gold to actually put in those stars instead of just regular. Now, it wasn't that hard to actually make this shape. What I did, I literally threw this stitch down on my scanner, and then I cut it out and then traced around that onto my comic book board in order to actually get this shape. And my back, I just blanket stitched some, actually it's just white felt onto the back to keep it simple.
Looks so pretty. The colors are very intense.
Yes. So this one here to say Noel is a variegated light blue, but everything else I picked to be a very deep, intense
Yes.
color. This red is actually, I've got a big spool of red for my Quaker flag, and I was like, the flag is not going to use the whole thing, so I'm just going to take that for my reds in these
I
particular
love jewel
ornaments.
tones for Christmas colors.
Yeah,
I
and-
love that.
On a tree, this will sparkle more than it does actually here once the lights are on our Christmas tree. So I'm really happy with that. My big thing here is I'm so commonly I make an ornament and then I instantly hand it away. I want to actually save the ornament, these ornaments, so that on the 25th I show you all the ornaments that I made
nice.
through the month. That is what Christmas Day is just to demonstrate that. And I did do lacing on the back, but I covered that up with my felt. It is not really that hard to lace.
So is it comic board inside?
Yes, there's two layers of comic book board.
Okay.
Yeah. I find if you only use one layer, when you go to lace this tightly so that you get a really clean edge, you bend the board.
Right.
So I use 2 layers of comic book board, and you can certainly use 2-sided tape to glue them together so they stay put. There's Lola. But I just tend to hold them in place,
Right.
so that works. So that is my first Emma Congdon, and it was a stitch and fully finish.
Nice.
So you have something else to show us for your Christmas stitching today.
Okay. I decided to do well, regularly I do 100 stitch a day project. So I thought for Christmas I should do a 100 stitch a day project, but I'm going to have it be a Christmas one. So this is the fabric,
Oh, it's so pretty. don't
and
know
I
if
just
if
dyed it
did-
myself.
You
It's
can't really see that it's opalescent today,
yeah,
but
it's-
it is just very, very shiny and glitzy.
Yes, and it's 16 count. And what I'm doing on it is Shannon Christine, I believe last year, released the small Nutcrackers. And so there's the first one. There's the second one. And the third one.
I
So-
like the different colors for each one. Blue,
Yes.
the red, and the green is really nice.
And lots of beadwork and lots of chronic. But so that's going to be my 100 stitch a day. So you every other day you'll be getting caught up on that project also, which will be done before the 25th.
Oh, so you're going to try and get all 3 Nutcrackers done in December as well?
Oh yeah, easily.
God bless you. And what size of bead do you use on a 16 count Ada?
I use a 12-0.
12-0. This was one of our conversations. Like, there could have been an hour of videoing before we got started as I was asking her questions about this, that, and something else, because I need to get my hands on smaller beads. Although you brought me beads and they do look smaller.
But they're mostly 10s.
Are they 10s?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I like doing ornaments on 32, which is equal to your 16, I find that the 10s are just that little bit too big to actually row them up well.
Yes.
And I wanted to do one of my ornaments as a completely beaded ornament, but so far the only way I think I could do that is if I did it on a 14 Ada. Have you ever done like solid beads to know if you can use 10s on a 14?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that would work? Okay, so
Yes.
I might just snatch some stuff from my daughter's stash, because I mean,
Yeah.
it's all here.
Yeah,
I-
on 14 count you can use that size.
Okay, so then maybe that's what I will try. I might not pick the largest ornament to do that with, because beading is a little bit slower, but... So other than, one of the things on the online stitching session, I was busy yesterday. I wanted to fully finish 3 ornaments, and well, I fully finished 1 ornament because I decided I was going to bead it. And so this is the extra ornament. I doubt I get 25 Emma Congdon done, but I have enough in my under the bed box of Christmas ornaments waiting to be fully finished that you'll probably on each of my videos see an Emma Congdon that I'm working on, and then a fully finished, hopefully, of something else. Now, this one, I'm going to say I did not stitch this. My sister-in-law is a quilter and stitcher as well, and she purchased a dimensions kits. I think this is from the 1990s, just saying. And she stitched 3 of the ornaments, and then she set it aside. And one time when I asked if I could just have a peek at some of the magazines she'd collected over the years, she just gave me this and said, do with it what you will.
Nice.
And I said, but there's 3 of them done. And she says, so you could, if you want to finish it, that's fine. If you don't want to finish it, that's fine. So I literally, there's some padding in here. I did put quilt pad in here. And I went around the edges with my beads. This is very easy to do. Yes, I keep saying there's a tutorial coming, and I'm hoping that there will be. And then on the back, I actually do have cotton that was left over from the recent Noel project, because you might as well use those extra little pieces that you cut, and then you go, oh, that wasn't big enough square. Oh, but I can use it for the backing of something. So I had this one that I had fully finished yesterday from what my sister-in-law had made. I don't know the name of the kit. And then this morning, I decided I was going to bead something that I stitched last year. This is a Jacob Modern Folk Embroidery Cozy Cabin. And I decided I wanted to fully finish this because it's been sitting there this whole year.
Stunning. That is absolutely stunning.
So I wanted to do this so I could give it to you.
Ah!
This won't count as one that I'm going to show on Christmas Day. I just wanted to do it so that I could give you something to say thank you for coming over to do this with me, because this was my idea. Would you do this with me? And she jumped into it with both feet, and I really appreciate that.
Sounds like a party to me.
So yeah, so this one's for you. So this I used variegated DMC. This is the number 115 that's going to be discontinued.
Oh, right.
It has actually been discontinued. However, there is still back stock of this floss still available throughout North America. You don't need to worry now, but in about 2 to 3 years, you won't be getting your hands on this particular one anymore. So I bought 10 of them. Just saying, because I just think that that's a very nice variegate, isn't it?
Beautiful. I didn't know that it was all one color.
That one single floss, and I didn't use a full skein. This is on 22 count Ada, actually. That friend Deb from Stitch North, thank you very much. She sent me this, and I stitched this on it. Now, like most Adas that are 22 count, they're a form of hardanger, even if they don't say it. So you have to do stab and poke at all times, because if you try and do sewing method, it will slide behind the warp threads.
Right, which is why I'll never work on a 22 count.
But I love the size of it, and I've now gotten used to doing the stab and poke, because the 25 count 1/1 really does need it as well. So yeah, so that I did for you.
Thank you.
So, yay, I actually have some fully finishes right at the moment.
Yay.
So I just want to keep that going through. Want to keep that going through the month. And barring that, I will say I am still a pianist. Karen probably is not a pianist. So on my videos, and as well today, there will be a Name That Christmas Tune at the end of my videos, and I love it when you put your guesses into the comment box below. Now, for today's video, we are both going to be looking at the comments and, you know, responding. You might get 2 responses because we might both be popping on, and then on our individual ones, we will comment back. We will respond to the comments on our own videos. So today I'm actually going to pop in a Christmas piece here that I think is highly appropriate for the very beginning of December.
I can hardly wait.
Is there anything else that you'd like to touch on today?
Nope. I'm just glad to be here. I'm glad to be sharing Flossmas with everyone, and I'm looking forward to all the fun we're going to have.
Yes, there's so much Christmas energy and so much friendship to be enjoyed throughout this month. So
Yes.
then I always close with, I hope that you had a great time today. If you're new, please feel free to press the subscribe button for both of us, Twitchy Stitcher and Stitching Owl. And I hope that as you watched today, you had fiber, floss, and needle in hand, so that as you made something beautiful, you made yourself happy. Bye-bye for now, and see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.